Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiny Room. I am your co-host for the podcast, Michael, and I am here digitally in the Tiny Room with your co-host, the other co-host, the other one, Ben. It's Ben. Say hello, Ben.
How long have you been doing intros for the podcast?
Bloody intro professional, that's what I am.
Yeah.
How long have I been doing intros? Ben, when did we introduce an intro? About 20? Podcast 20? Was that when we said we probably need an intro?
Yeah, we probably needed to just let people know that we weren't too escaped mental patients that found microphones. Yeah,
we haven't escaped. We're
still in the tiny room.
This is our developmental project.
Oh, that's a very M. Night Shyamalan, thank you. I always get that wrong. It was good of you to jump in there and save me. I'll be and they were in a tiny padded cell the whole time.
Ooh, and one of them was the devil.
Oh, and another one.
You probably.
And another one was allergic to water like aliens. So cool.
Benjamin.
Cool. Yes.
Benjamin.
What?
Speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, apparently A Quiet Place is like if an M. Night Shyamalan film was good. Which I think is a pretty good way of describing a film.
That's high praise.
Ben, speaking of horror, did you see the poster, the new poster for the new Hellboy 3? Hellboy
I did.
0?
I think it's a reboot.
Just Hellboy.
A reboot.
Like Mortal Kombat 11, which was just called Mortal Kombat.
Because they needed to save the whole franchise because it was terribly made and a bit convoluted story-wise.
Well, I mean, Ben, you name a fighting game that doesn't have a bad plot, and I will name you a liar.
Fair enough. Tekken 50?
Yeah. Did you... No, Ben, but seriously, though, come on, answer the question. Did you see the poster?
Yes, I did. It's very different to your normal movie poster, Michael.
It is, because it's like a comic book poster.
It's like a comic book. Yes. It's actually drawn by Mike Mignola himself. Mignola?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It says it there under the thing that I was looking up earlier while I was researching it. He designed the poster for it. Looks to have a possible witch or a goddess of some kind. Looks very evil.
I believe it's the Blood Queen.
Oh, a queen of blood, eh?
Yeah, and she wants to get rid of all the people and whatnot.
Do you think? Classic.
Going to be played by genre legend Mila Jovovich.
Oh, Mila.
Hovovich.
Yeah. Mila will do a good job of that.
Yeah, look,
better job than bloody Cara Delevingne in Suicide Squad.
Leave Cara Delevingne alone.
Hang on,
wavy arms.
Miss Wavy Arms, get rid of the people using my brother. Kind of.
Oh, it's always get rid of the people, isn't it?
Let's get rid of the people. That's what I mean. I think Mila Jovovich, being a tried and tested staple and capable of holding her hands by her side at all times, should it be necessary for the scene, should do a great job.
Mila Jovovich has never really been great in anything, though.
She was pretty good in Zoolander.
She's amusing in Zoolander, but that's a bloody cameo. That's an extended cameo.
True.
She's a very attractive lady, Benjamin.
She is.
You're not going to put any acting heavy lifting on her.
No, well, she's not built for acting heavy lifting.
If you need a lithe woman in her 40s who is still very attractive, you just get Mila Jovovich.
That's the one you want.
If Kate Beckinsale's not available.
Kate. God.
I think, Ben, I have to think, though, that in a real-life fight, Mila Jovovich would probably beat Kate Beckinsale.
I reckon Kate Beckinsale would charm the fucking pants off and there wouldn't even be a fight.
Oh, Ben, you and your fantasies, weirdo. You sex weirdo.
Yes.
You're spending too much time in Italy, you old sex weirdo.
You know there's a specific term for a sex weirdo. It's called a pervert. I'm glad you didn't call me one on the podcast. But
I'm going with sex weirdo.
Sex weirdo. Oh.
Yep. Benjamin.
Yes.
Look, will you go see Hellboy? I'm not asking you to the cinema.
I'm definitely going to see Hellboy because I love Hellboy, as you know.
Because that's why I have Hellboy comics.
Yeah, that's why you have Hellboy comics.
You gave me your extras.
I gave you my extras.
Benjamin.
Yes.
In other news.
Yes.
Do you have any care to give about a bloody Joker film?
No. I have about as much care to give about a Joker film as I do to give about a Venom film that's been made.
Yeah, but that's happening now.
Yeah, I know. But I just think, why would you make a standalone Joker film? I don't understand.
Well, Ben, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's not relevant.
But That's why I speak English and don't listen to anyone who doesn't.
Benjamin.
Yes.
You know, one of the worst things that could happen for the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the Venom movie being good.
Because they'll have to shoehorn him into a bloody
Spider-Man universe
thing.
If it's dreadful, everyone will just ignore it and go, I remember when Sony made
Tom Hardy will cash the paycheck.
Yeah.
And give gruff answers at press conferences. Press conference. Press conference.
What are you?
Press conferences.
Why would you? I can't remember what Tom Hardy sounds like. Why would you ask me that? What do you mean?
Tom,
no, that's not great.
Why do you think the Venom movie was so shit? I don't see how that's relevant. I don't.
What do you mean? Why would you ask an actor that sort of question? It's not relevant. Yeah, but Ben, why are they making a Joker film, Ben? No, seriously, I really do want to know this.
I don't know why they're making one. I think the idea was just... Basically, Michael, I think that...
Yes.
Because
Now, this is just purely your opinion.
This is pure conjecture and opinion.
You're not saying you have an inside track.
No, I have not got an inside track on this at all. So, I think that because the Justice League movies have been so shit...
There's only been one Justice League movie.
That because the DC Extended Universe cinematically has been so shit. Better?
Except Wonder Woman, which is kind of alright.
Mediocre. No, not mediocre.
I'm going to let you finish a thought there.
It was above par.
It's alright.
It was above par. But I think it's because of that. I think everyone's just like, yeah, sure, we can just do anything we want now. We can just pitch whatever. Is
that necessarily a bad tact to take, though?
Bottom of the barrel is a great place to be. In terms of creative, bottom of the barrel is a great place to be in terms of pitching.
That's getting written on your gravestone.
I've been at the bottom of the barrel a fair few times, Michael. There's no need to judge people who claw their way out. So anyway, I think the main reason this is getting a bit of traction at the moment is because it's such a ludicrous idea. The person who seems to be eyed for the role is Joaquin Phoenix.
Or Nicolas Cage.
Or Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage thinks he'd make a good Joker, but I don't know about that. So it's kind of funny because now it's a thing. It's a real thing of going back on his own word. Because originally Joaquin Phoenix had kind of hinted at the fact that he had no idea that the Warner Bros. Planned a Joker origin film. Oh, that's the other stupid thing about the Joker thing. It's an origin film. The Joker doesn't really have a set origin because it doesn't really work that way. But that's whatever.
Like the Wolverine.
No, they gave the Wolverine a canonical origin. They have never given the Joker one. The Killing Joke was retconned. As a multiple personality hallucination. Something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a bad retcon. Retcons are terrible.
Who cares about retcons, Ben? Let's get rid of
them. So anyway, Joaquin Phoenix then, he was asked, he then later admitted that he had given it some thought, and people kind of, rightfully turned around and said, well, do you not think you'd be, going up against a bit of a titan of the industry there, Joaquin,
Jack Nicholson.
Well, I mean, that's one titan. That's one interpretation. And then the other, probably more famous, I suppose, is Heath Ledger's one from 2008.
The thing about Heath Ledger's, Ben, is he played a very interesting character, but I mean, was it the Joker, Ben? Was it really the Joker?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So, I mean, you don't have to do that. Just do the Joker, the standard Joker, the Mark Hamill Joker.
But Christian Bale didn't play much of a Batman.
That's a fair point too, Ben. And Anne Hathaway didn't play much of a Catwoman.
No, she was rubbish.
She wasn't rubbish.
She wasn't great.
Leave her alone.
She wasn't great.
I mean, it wasn't a very memorable role.
Bane worked.
It was no...
No, go on.
It was no Anne Hathaway.
No, it was no.
It was no Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean, it was definitively an Anne Hathaway. Is it Anne Hathaway or Anne Hathaway?
No, Anne Hathaway. You were right the first time.
I was right. Okay.
So anyway,
getting her name wrong.
After Mr. Phoenix was asked this, he said, I have the quote here in front of me. It's so interesting. I was thinking about it today. It seems so unique in some ways to comic books. I think there's probably room for that. Maybe it's like doing a play. Like you always hear about people doing something. You should have seen this actor in this performance, but then other actors do it, and it's a different kind of film. I think that genre, comic books, kind of lends itself to having different people play the same character and interpret it in a different way. It's kind of built into the source material in some ways. I think it's cool when people do that. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix has ever met a comic book fan.
Ben, have you just swapped out of Ben that quote there? Was that last bit you or Joaquin Phoenix?
The last part was me, sorry.
Ben, that's a lot like the Reddit comment we got a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a YouTube comment when we talked about European comics, and they said how European comics are often the brainchild of a single auteur.
Yeah.
As opposed to American comics, which are often infused with with different creators' ideas.
Yeah.
So in a way, I do kind of agree with them, and that might be a way forward for the DC movies. Just throw out the idea of a continuity and just scatterblast movies with random actors whenever you want. It'd be great.
I mean, no, I think that would be like. I think you and I, Michael, and I am treading very lightly here.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Sorry, I feel that given some of the previous episodes where I have talked and you have listened, is that better?
Yes, I'm so nice.
Yeah. We're quite a fan of odd choices for films and slightly different ways of doing things. Generally speaking, anytime I've seen someone be announced for a role in the last 3 years, in terms of a DC movie, for example, Batfleck. There's been nothing but uproar. And you'll remember when...
Well, Aquamoa was okay.
Yeah, Aquamoa was pretty solid, but I think that's because Aquamoa has his own following. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
He had
women who like shirtless Jason Momoa.
Ben's who like shirtless Jason Momoa.
Good.
It's got nothing to do with women. Yeah, no, I don't think. I think it's interesting that he's like, yeah, we can just swap the actors around and have them play different versions. I don't think he's ever met an angry comic book fan.
Yeah, but look, Ben, the angry comic book fans have betrayed the DC cinematic universe. Even if they were just cruising by, well, I suppose they might be just cruising by on cinema on the comic fans. I wonder who buys those tickets. Who makes the DC movies moderately successful? Is it comic book fans or is it norms?
It's not norms. I tell you what it is. It's bloody people who want to beat Marvel, because that whole Marvel versus DC thing is a big thing, and the worst offenders in that bloody argument are DC fans.
Oh, Ben.
They are. I'm a DC fan.
Stop stirring the pot.
I'm always on keyboards giving out racial abuse and sexual harassment to people who say that they enjoy a Captain America or an Iron Man. That's how we met, Michael.
You're hurling abuse at our friend Rachel.
That's how we met, Michael. Do you not remember?
Oh, okay.
I called you a dirty, shield-licking son of a gun.
Oh, Jesus. Do you mean Captain America's shield or Shield the organization?
It could be either, really. That was the clever thing about it, you see.
Oh,
there were layers. There were layers.
Apologies
to our good friend Rachel. It was all
Rachel abuse.
That was all in service to a bit there, Rachel. No, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's an odd one. Although Martin Scorsese is said to produce, so I think it's fairly safe to say that the Joker will have a Boston accent.
Yeah, I think it's fairly safe to say it's not going to happen.
And frequently turn around and say, "You a cop? You a Batman? You a Batman?"
Very good. Yeah. I'd like to see that now.
Yeah.
Ben, speaking of things I really don't care about, Solo is coming out or isn't or something.
Yeah, that got me really...
pumped?
Really underwhelmed.
Are you pumped to find out the origin of things? Like,
am I pumped to know that none of the significant characters survive? Or none of the significant characters die?
Well, I think probably Emilia Clarke, who's looking very fine lady in the trailer.
Yeah, I think Emilia Clarke was probably the best looking thing about the whole trailer, to be honest.
She's definitely going to die.
Yeah, she has to.
And Lando will probably be fine. Chewie will be fine. Han Solo will be fine. Knock Off Yondu will be fine.
Knock Off Yondu? What was that about?
Knock Off Yondu.
No, I saw him. I'm just...
What's his name? Woody Harrelson appears to be playing a poor man's Yondu in this movie.
Yeah, I know. It's bloody silly.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, Chewbacca has a wife. Pretty
Yeah,
safe to say.
Smelly? No, Scruffy. What's her name? Mara.
Pretty safe to say she dies. Also has also 100 and something years old, which I didn't know about Wookiees.
Chewie's like 250 years old or something like that.
What?
But Wookiee in your Star Wars universe, Wookiees are very long lived and always have been. Never mentioned in the movies, but always part of the background.
That's bizarre. So, that's such an interesting reversal. Han Solo is like his pet dog. What?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
He just adopted him for a short period of time. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the Spock thing all over again.
And then he got stabbed.
Yeah,
by his own son.
Spoilers for a really out of date movie. But I don't know if I cared. The chemistry looks a bit stiff.
Look, Ben, you can't tell chemistry from a trailer, really, can you? Admit that for me.
All right, I'll admit that for you, Michael. Fair enough. I just thought it looked a bit stiff from what I saw.
Look, I'm gonna see Solo, Ben. I've seen every Star Wars, but I'm not gonna. Oh,
yes.
I can't believe I haven't told you this. No, look, I'll save it for the end. I have a story about Star Wars. We'll save it for the end, and then we'll cut it out if we go over.
Oh goodness, that's amazing.
Instead of sticking
possible cutout content.
Bloody subscriber only Patreon special.
Patreon special. The bits we don't keep in the episodes. Yeah,
things we somewhat do care about. If I forget this and anyone is listening and gets really annoyed at us that I didn't tell the funny Star Wars story, leave a comment and remind me. Ben,
yes,
The Incredibles is also a film.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about that yet, Michael.
We mentioned it in passing when we were talking about the Fantastic Four, but yeah, we haven't spoken about it.
We've never said a thing about it.
Very good, Grant Morrison. That was more of a Mark Miller.
It could be. It doesn't really matter, does it? Neither is relevant to the incredible topic. But yeah, I think it looks interesting. Looks like it tackles the same themes, same difficult themes as before.
Get my super suit,
honey. Where is my super suit? What?
Oh, that was better. Yeah.
Where is my super suit? Why do you need to know?
Yeah, that was both. You both got the quote correct and did the voice better, so you win this round.
That was one of the
well
best
done.
parts.
Hope you're proud.
But nah, not really. If anything, it's just echoes very hollowly in my empty apartment.
Oh wow! Oh, that's grim. Oh, I'm real worried about you now. Do you want me to come over? Will I fly over? Will I fly over and just keep you company? Just hang about?
That'd be nice, actually, if you could just come over whenever you get a chance.
Well, let's stop recording and I'll just head over now. Benjamin, I liked The Incredibles, the first one.
Very good.
But to be honest, it didn't resonate with me as much as it did with many other people.
I think there's nothing major in the film itself that lets it resonate in the same way. I think, in terms of Pixar, it was a huge departure for them because they tackled actual adult themes. And I don't mean superheroics or anything like that. And loads of people always quote the opening suicide saving part where it's like, oh wow, that's so daring, like they're mentioning suicide and thing. It's nothing to do with that. The major plot point of Incredibles is that Mrs. Incredible thinks that her husband is cheating on him.
Is that what it's about?
And no, but it's one of the major plot points. In terms of adult themes, the whole reason she becomes suspicious and goes off to an island is because she thinks her husband is cheating on her.
Is a bad egg.
And he is actually tempted to do that by the blonde
the sexy blonde lady.
The sexy blonde lady. That, I think people tend to forget that particular theme. That's not a Pixar theme.
No, that isn't a Pixar theme.
That shouldn't be a character's motivation.
It has long been my ambition to have a sexy blonde assistant.
You had me for a while.
Oh, very good.
Hey.
Very good. Hey. Although I am both more attractive and blonder than you, so that would be a bit redundant.
Hey, blonde. Is that what you are? Blonde?
Yeah, look at this bit here. This is apart from where I'm going bald, it's pretty blonde. Blonder than you, anyway, son.
Anyway,
Ben.
Yeah.
Have you heard the Infinity War news?
What's the Infinity War news?
Well, there's lots of trailers and stuff. We're not going to go into the spoilers too deep because we don't want to ruin it. It's out in 2 weeks. I'm going to book my tickets today, Ben, for the midnight showing.
It's out in Florence at the same time.
Sweet as.
It's out on the 27th and 28th in Florence in the English cinema around the corner from my apartment. So I'm going to book my tickets tonight as well. Thank you for reminding me.
The English cinema is one served a cup of tea and a crumpet with one's movie.
It's really cool. Have you ever been to the Odeon Cinema in Florence? I've plugged this so many times, but it's amazing. It's a big Art Deco theatre from the 1920s, and they haven't changed it. They've just restored everything. It's amazing.
And I wish people could see how bulgy your eyeballs
and they
were
only play movies in English. It's amazing.
So Ben, here's the news. Anyway,
sorry. Yeah, go on.
The news is this. The news is that pre-ticket sales for Infinity War, Ben, right, have been as high as Black Panther.
Ooh.
And Doctor Strange.
Oh.
And Civil War.
Oh.
And Ant-Man.
Oh.
And 3 other films combined.
I hope that carries on the microphone.
I don't know if that's going to be good or not. Linguistically speaking, Ben, did you know that Irish people do a weird thing? We're one of the only language speakers who have a word that we pronounce on an inhale of breath.
Which?
Not many cultures do that, but Ireland does. I don't know why. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Combined.
Infinity War. Yeah, it's combined. Remember, Black Panther broke all the pre-sales.
Yeah, it's up there with Titanic. It beat Titanic.
But it broke all the pre-sales records. Black Panther broke them all, and now Infinity War has broken its records. Combined with 6 other films. Infinity War is going to make more in its opening weekend than almost every other film has made in its run. Ever. I think... Go on.
I think that's because, and this is, again, completely my opinion, complete conjecture, all the people that saw Black Panther that wouldn't normally go to see a superhero film, and they went to see Black Panther because it was an all-black cast, have probably seen him in the trailer for Infinity War and gone, yeah.
Well, Ben, let's be honest. The bloody latest trailers look like trailers for Black Panther 2.
They are trailers for Black Panther 2, Michael. That's going to be
War looks like Black Panther 2.
That's going to be the Shyamalan twist at the end of
it was
Infinity
Black Panther
War
2 the whole time, fools. Thanos is going to click his fingers, and the title card is going to change to Black Panther 2 from Infinity War.
Universe done. Nice.
Benjamin.
Yes.
Speaking of the gaping black hole in comic book news that is Infinity War, that's what we're going to talk about today in a kind of roundabout way.
Oh, no.
Oh, do you not want to? We can do something else if you want.
Yeah. Can we talk about something else other than just Infinity War?
Okay, we'll talk about everything else in a very short time.
Great. I love it.
Ben, what we decided to do, Ben, is to add to the Infinity War noise on the internet by giving our ranking of the best. Oh, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. Go on. Do the bit.
No, I don't want to do it now. I'm having a sulk.
I was just going to say, I think 2 Irish voices with a humble beginnings podcast could really add to the internet.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that's a fair point. Actually, everyone try and listen to this. Ben, what we've decided to do.
Yeah.
Everyone, what we've decided to do is rank. We've never done a ranking, actually.
Nope.
What we've decided to do is join the internet noise and do a ranking of the Marvel villains from worst to best.
How original.
A top 18 countdown it's going to be. Actually, there have been 18 movies, but there are fewer than 18 villains because Loki was the villain in quite a few of them.
Fair.
But anyway, Ben, what we're going to look at is because you're a man who went to college.
I did.
You're going to take a look at the villains from the perspective of theme.
Oh, yes.
Motif.
Oh, I love a motif.
Maybe a bit of character motivation.
Oh, go on, giz that.
And a bit of, what was that thing you talked about a few weeks ago there? Bloody ego.
Bloody logos and...
That's the fella.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You're going to...
Yeah, I have that in my tea in the morning.
There, Ben.
Oh, nice.
Lovely bit of logos.
Excellent.
That's what you're going to do. And meanwhile, I'm going to take a look at them from the perspective of, are they just a big spooky grey man?
Yeah, bloody...
Or do they have a sweet-assed costume?
I thought we were going to talk about whether they had sweet asses, Michael. You promised me.
No, sweet-assed costumes.
Feck's sake, man.
I've got a bunch of them have sweet asses.
I spent about 3 hours yesterday combing through Marvel films looking for butt shots from the villains.
It's pretty much just Hela, Loki,
it's a great
and
butt.
Arguably Winter Soldier and maybe Alexander Pierce.
Alexander Pierce is one
in a suit.
Yeah, those were the 4 that I had, and they were great. And
well, that's the podcast done. So
that's the video done.
Yeah,
just gonna be that in a loop. It's gonna be that.
Alexander Pierce's butt cheeks on a loop.
Yep.
Good. All right.
Yep,
Ben,
I can't
let's do
wait.
a chronological. Let's try to mess this up as much as possible by confusing ourselves and looking at them chronologically, but then ranking them. But then after we put one in a rank, we can't change that rank.
Fair enough.
Mostly for the purposes of this being somewhat amusing for us.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Okay, so let's start with the first villain, Ben. Do you want to fill us in on who the first MCU villain was?
It was the wonderful Loki.
No, it wasn't, you big
No.
dog.
Oh, no, sorry, Iron Man. Sorry, it was... sorry, that was... Whoa, good start.
Look, Ben,
Good start
I'll do
to the pod. Yeah,
I'll do the heavy
can you
lifting
do that,
on this one,
please?
Ben.
Because I'm bloody
It
thick, apparently.
was Obadiah Stane, Ben, a.k.a. the Ironmonger.
Oh.
Ben, what did you think of him?
But
Now, bear in mind, we have about 2 minutes to talk about each one.
classic kind of, your daddy did me wrong, I'm going to get your money.
He's back for vengeance.
I'm going to get your money.
Yeah, he's back for vengeance.
I was expecting him to at least mention the carpet and how it tied the room together. The suit really tied the room together, man.
There's a passable...
yeah, I think I might be able to get
date.
it. If we come back to it at the end, I might be able to get it.
Okay, we'll come back.
Benjamin.
Here are a list of his kind of faults.
Yeah, go on.
He's a big spooky grey man.
Yeah, he's bloody awful design.
It's just a big spooky grey version of Iron Man. He's also just the hero but evil.
Yeah, I bloody hate that.
In the most literal sense, he literally steals an Iron Man costume and just makes it eviler.
Yeah, very non-inspired.
Would you say that it was an outstanding performance?
No, Jeff Bridges was earning a paycheck.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about actors like Jeff Bridges. You're never going to get anything bad, and what you get is
Tron.
You get. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. But you're never going to get. He's never going to be the worst thing about the film that you're making.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're always going to get something from... And then the other sneaky thing about people like Jeff Bridges is he's synonymous with the dude. He has cult following based on his time as the dude. I
don't know, though. With his shaved head and his beard, he was very different.
I know, he was good at being a villain. And I dug that. But, I mean, it was just I was very phone it in for me.
He's going to be towards the bottom, isn't he, Ben?
He is. He'd have to be.
Where will we stick him? Where are we sticking? What number are we giving?
Out of a possible 18, is it?
Out of 18, yeah.
Out of a possible 18, I don't know. We're going to put him... Where are we going to put him, Michael?
We put him 15, maybe?
It could be lower.
What are you doing?
Could be lower. I forgot to plug in my PC because I'm a professional.
Classic Ben.
And I didn't want it to die, Michael. It was.
Yeah, look, if we lose this, so we're not doing it again.
Michael just got
for sure.
Michael just got a crotch shot there.
No episode this week. Yeah, let's put him at 15, Ben.
Yeah, 15's fine. 15's fine.
There are worse.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next, Ben? Next is the Abomination.
Oh.
Emil Blonsky.
Oh, Tim Roth. Tim Roth is great. Got time for Tim Roth.
Yep.
I can do a little Tim Roth. But again, similar status to Mr. Bridges. Everybody knows Tim Roth.
Go on.
Everybody knows Mr. Orange. And
he got shot in the stomach.
He pops along all the time. He's that really... He always plays kind of a really sinister, unexpectedly evil guy. He tends...
Wasn't... Go on.
Go on. No, go on.
Wasn't he better when he was still a human than when he became the full-on Abomination?
The Abomination was pointless. The Abomination was such a poor... Obviously, you have to have something that goes up against the Hulk. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But again, loses points for just the hero, but evil.
Yeah, just the hero, but evil. He's also a big spooky grey man.
Big spooky grey man. The leader would have been a much better choice as the villain. It's the complete opposite of the thing. You could have gotten a little bit of fucking... you could have had a little bit of pathos, a little bit of ethos, a little bit of logos. You could have had the whole Could have had the whole kit and caboodle, Michael, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all.
Look, probably the best thing about the Abomination is when he's Tim Roth and he gets real confident, and then he just walks up to the Hulk and gets kicked across a field.
That was deadly. That was gas.
And he gets all his bones broken. Where do we put the Abomination, Ben? He's not one of the good ones.
Nah, 16 or 14. He doesn't go above Ironmonger. 16.
16, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Abomination. Sorry, that sucks for you. Okay, next, Ben.
Yes.
Whiplash.
Big spooky grey man.
Yeah, your dad did me wrong.
Dad did me wrong.
Now I'm back for vengeance.
I'm gonna get your daddy. It has to be in that
Where
one.
is my bird?
Where is my bird?
I want my bird.
And again, Mickey Rourke. This is another Roth, another Bridges, another,
All bloody great actors, Ben, but just not a lot to work with, is there?
But they weren't given a good part. That's the point. There's no substance to what they're playing. It's just it's a cardboard villain.
Although he did at least have the good visual of the costume when he attacks the racetrack was pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I mean it was a little bit unique. It was quick. It was hobbled together. It was strong. It did a lot of damage. That was cool. But I don't know. Mickey Rourke kind of lost the run of himself in that one, where he just played this weird, I don't know. He played like a lot of quirky stuff. I think he had just seen The Joker.
Well, look, Mickey Rourke dictated a lot of that to the producers.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. I think he got notions when he saw Heath Ledger as the Joker. He has a lot.
Where do we put him, Ben?
He can go a bit higher. He wasn't the worst of them. 12?
But maybe about 12. All right, we'll stick him at 12. Ben,
12.
this is a highly scientific system of essentially doing this completely randomly.
Sure, look, we're all pros.
You sound like a prostitute. Benjamin.
No one would pay to have sex with me, Michael.
The next one comes from 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger.
The Red Skull. He was bloody awful.
He's a Nazi, though, isn't he?
He's a Nazi, but okay, so he gets a few points for creative design, but that wasn't really them. That was the source material.
Well, yeah, but Ben, I mean, making a red... What are you looking at? What's on your cup there? What are you doing?
Fixing my cup.
Making a red skull-faced man isn't as easy in real life as it is in the comic book, and I think they did a fantastic job with the visuals of Red Skull.
Costume-wise, great costume.
And bloody... What's his name? Who's the guy? Who's that guy who hates being in films, but they keep letting him be in films? Hugo Weaving, who hates being in films, Ben, but they keep letting him be in films anyway.
I'd be in films I hated if they paid me as much as they pay Hugo fucking Weaving. Yeah.
He was an iconic Red Skull.
Yeah, no, he was... No, okay, so he was... Again, I suppose this is a good actor with a bad lot. He didn't get enough screen time.
Exactly.
Could have used a lot more Red Skull in my life.
I think that's the main problem with the Red Skull. I don't think he was a bad villain. I just think he didn't get enough time.
Yeah, he wasn't able to do anything really good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wasn't able to do anything well. Really, was he?
I would like to see him coming back.
Yeah, do you think he'll come back?
Oh, well, he hates films.
Yeah, you see, you can't get Hugo Weaving back. But I mean, good actor, same face makeup.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a thing you could definitely do that. I don't know about the legalities of that, although they've recast other characters.
Secret reboot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will we stick him somewhere in the middle, Ben?
We'll put him in an L 6 or 7. 6 or 7. 5?
Let's give him an 8. No, 8.
Oh, 8. Okay. 8,
yeah, 8. Because there's a lot of better ones.
Okay.
All right, where are we now? The big one. Thor.
Bloody... Oh, okay. So this is Loki.
All
right. So, I mean, is Loki a villain anymore?
Well, he was definitely a villain in Thor.
Thor 2, kind of.
He was a villain in Thor. He was a villain in the Avengers. So let's deal with those specifically and ignore him from
those
Thor
2 bad boys then. Yeah, he's got very flimsy pathos, so he can make you feel something in that he's like a little orphan child. He's in the shadow of his brother, and blah 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 blah. So he's got some of that. He's got that carried around with him, but it's very one-dimensional. It's hard to feel that for him, and it's not really built very well because his brother never treated him differently. So I always felt that kind of fell down.
But there's also the aspect that he's not really supposed to have particularly tragic background so much as he is just an intractable dick.
A little shit. Yeah, so he lacks ethos. He has no moral character or principle. Because he fucking pretends to kill himself 85 times and then scares the shit out of Thor 85 times. Just
I'm a snake.
I love that part in the movie. That was so good. But he does have a lot of logos. He's very persuasive.
Yes.
And that's his whole thing. Like Tom,
and Ben, he has a sweet-assed design.
He has a sweet ass too. Tom Hiddleston, give me some of that.
Tom Hiddleston's a real life ginger, Ben, and look how slick he is.
Everybody falls in love with him when he has his hair dyed either blonde or black. Michael, don't try and turn this around. He knows. He knows which side his bread is buttered on, and is buttered firmly on dyed hair. You have a ginger bloody beard.
He has a ginger beard too. He's one of my favourites.
Probably does.
Where would Ben look?
He's top 3, isn't he? Like, because he's just so recurrent, and Tom Hiddleston does a pretty decent job of him.
Yeah, but as you said, the motivations are a bit flimsy and stuff.
Okay, so we're going to chuck him down a little bit. Maybe.
I'd say let's put him at 4.
A fifth of a 4.
Like, it seems like I'm trying to set something up here, but I genuinely am not. I have no idea where we're going with this.
What you're actually doing, Michael, is you've made this ahead of time. You have a list in front of you, and you're using subtle linguistic tricks to make me fall into your little web and make it seem like I.
Well, Ben, there was nothing subtle with it. I said, let's just put him at 4, and then you went, all right, yeah, that's enough. I don't really care.
I'm notoriously weak-minded.
Yeah, and this largely doesn't matter anyway. Ben, let's move on to Phase 2.
Ooh.
And the first film in Phase 2 was the much maligned, or loved, but sometimes maligned, Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Killian, what should we call him? What's his name?
Killian Aldrich, a.k.a. the Mandarin.
No, awful. Awful character.
One of the worst ones.
Oh, but it was just the exact same character as Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, but this time he could shoot fire from his mouth.
Yeah, but like an ironmonger suit by any other bloody name.
Well, at least he wasn't a big spooky grey man, though.
He wasn't a big spooky grey man, but he was a bloody shirtless orange Bernie man.
Yeah, and he wasn't just the villain, but just the hero, but evil.
Yeah, I'm against MacGuffins that give people bloody starter set superpowers like beams and endurance.
So you don't like the Extremis virus?
No, I thought it was a bit meh.
So you'd be inclined to put. What about the Mandarin? What about Trevor Slattery?
Yeah, you see, I love that character because it was a bit of a twist on the thing, but nobody else liked that character. They all thought it was a bit of a piss take. But I think it was very funny having Ben Kingsley, a notoriously, because that kind of turns that thing of getting a bloody solidly reputed actor into the role. And it kind of turned it on its head. Turns out to be bloody...
You'll never see me coming.
Yeah. And they get rid of him, just like that. I thought that was pretty funny. Because a character like the Mandarin can't fit.
No, because he's a bloody Chinese stereotype, Ben. They're not allowed anymore.
Yeah, it's not allowed at all. And also, he's a very powerful villain compared to a lot of the villains we'd have. Not in terms of... Sorry, that's not true at all. But I mean, in terms of Earth villains, he's got a lot of pull. The Mandarin, he runs a bloody...
A lot of sway.
Yeah, and you'd have to mention him in the in the Netflix universe and stuff like that because he's a huge criminal boss. So you can't have that character. Couldn't come in. Couldn't
get rid of him.
Couldn't come out to play.
So Ben, where will we put Trevor Slattery and Killian?
Trevor Slattery you can put up higher than Killian bloody Aldrich.
Okay, let's put Trevor Slattery at 7.
Okay.
And Killian at 10.
Yeah. Screw you, Killian.
Right.
Screw you.
Okay, this is going to come back to bite us.
Yeah.
Ben, next one. Let's not spend a lot of time talking about this because it's one of the worst ones.
One of the worst ones.
It's bloody Malekith.
Oh, look. Bloody massive amount of prosthetic makeup that didn't work. No facial expressions. Christopher Eccleston phoning it in a little bit.
And completely wasted.
Like,
it could have been anyone. It could have been you.
Because Christopher Eccleston... pretty decent actor when he gets going. Did you ever see Shallow Grave?
He's all right acting.
Did you ever see Shallow Grave?
Yeah, very good film.
Great,
give someone a whack of a shovel.
Great El Villain in that. He's good at being angry, but they didn't use him very well at all. You could have just had him in a light amount of makeup. But no, they gave him this weird wax face, and they shoved it on him, and then he was supposed to be a big thing. I don't know.
And he didn't speak English. He only spoke in makey-uppy Elvie language.
Like, what a waste of a character.
And he was grey.
Yeah.
Comic book Malekith is red and blue.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the worst ones.
Yeah, but that was a terrible movie.
Possibly the worst one.
That was a terrible movie. That's a toss-up between Malekith or bloody red fog. Take your pick. Poor. He can go right down the end.
Right, 18. Last.
Let's stick him down there.
Okay. All right, sorry, Malekith, you're 18.
You rubbish.
Okay. Next one, Ben, one of the better ones. It's The Winter Soldier.
Oh, yes.
Remember The Winter Soldier? Bucky Barnes.
So this is one with some solid bloody pathos.
Tell us about the pathoses.
Sure, he's bleeding Steve Rogers' best pal. His best bud.
Yeah, but then he fell off a train and his arm fell off.
Yeah, Mr. I can do this all day. Not him, but like the guy that he originally said it to. I can do this all day. That's where the whole phrase comes from, buddy. Falls off a train, loses his memory, gets turned over to the Ruskies, becomes a commie, gets let out loose to assassinate some folks, and then, just...
Wears too much mascara?
Wears way too much mascara, but like, we've all been there. Let's be honest. If anything, that makes him super relatable. He doesn't really have any moral character, but then again, he's been brainwashed by the KGB. Let's be honest.
He's essentially a Terminator.
He's essentially a Terminator, but he's coming back now, and he's got some scruples. He's got some camaraderie coming back. He lives in Wakanda, and he's probably gonna end up with Shuri. I'm feeling a Shuri.
Whoa, way too old.
White Wolf.
Creepy Ben.
White Wolf.
Creepy Ben. You're such a creeper.
Shuri, White Wolf.
Shuri
vibe.
No, Shuri and Peter Parker. That's where that's going.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think they might be in love in real life.
Oh, that's nice.
They're always tweeting each other. Weirdos.
Oh.
Sex weirdos.
Saps. But he doesn't have a lot of logos. He's not very persuasive in terms of intelligence or anything like that. But he's do you know what? He's great in several ways because he's a villain that really gave Captain America some depth as well. Mm-hmm. I think...
Yeah, but Ben, if the villain just exists to give the hero depth, they're not great villains, are they?
No, but I think they do a lot for each other. They complete each other.
Oh, nice.
In a very Joker Batman way. Like, to be fair, like, Steve Rogers is completely lost in the 21st century.
Well, not anymore. He's kind of caught up.
No, but he was in The Winter Soldier. Like, that's the whole arc of The Winter Soldier, is that Steve Rogers is a man out of time. And this kind of, first of all, it haunts him from his past. It pulls him straight back into his past, but it gives him a purpose in the present. And it kind of realigns his moral code. So in a weird way, the Winter Soldier is the one that gives Steve Rogers pathos and ethos. He gives him moral character and principle and a purpose again in the present. So it was a very nice reflection. And then obviously later in Civil War, he's helping to redeem Bucky, who's lost his character and path and stuff like that. So I'd say the Winter Soldier, aside from that, great look, absolute badass, metal arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Metal arm, throwing a shield about the place.
Tom Holland says it. He probably tweeted it to Shuri at some point. Who's to say?
Yeah.
Great character. We could put him up the top somewhere.
5?
Go on. All
right,
because he's not a permanent villain.
Yeah. And he is just a bit of a Terminator.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben, next one's pretty easy. I think this one's going to be pretty low down. It's Ronan the Accuser.
Oh, the weird Muslim paragon thing.
Oh, Jesus, Ben, you've made it racial.
That's what the...
Semitic.
No, that's what the Kree are. Islamophobic is what you're looking for.
That's the word you were looking for.
Islamophobic. I haven't. They're very clearly a parallel for Muslim extremity. That's what the Kree are.
Well, not always.
Not always, but in Guardians of the Galaxy, where Ronan the Accuser was the one, absolutely is.
He's a religious fanatic.
Yeah, all he was sure to say was jihad on Chris Pratt, but he didn't.
The big problem with Ronan, well, first of all, he's a spooky grey man, basically, because they gave him a big black costume instead of the lovely green he has in the comics. But the big problem with him is he is undermined in that movie by everyone else. The thing that I always think of when I think of Ronan is Thanos saying, "You have the demeanor of a petulant child."
Yeah, and that's it. That's all you can see from
everyone telling Ronan, don't fight Thanos. He'll kill you. He'll bust you up. So how can you take him seriously when he's not even taken seriously by his own underlings in the movie?
By anyone.
Yeah, no one cares about Ronan.
Chris Pratt.
Maybe
Star-Lord dance
Marvel
battles
will
him.
redeem him. You what now?
Star-Lord dance battles him to distract him.
Yeah,
Like,
he's not.
is he going to be in?
He's in Captain Marvel.
Oh, in the 80s.
Yeah, the 90s.
Oh, he could be interesting there. The same actor?
Yep, Lee Pace.
Actor wasn't bad, if I recall.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't a lot of performance. The performance wasn't good enough to save the genericanisms of it.
No, again, this is yeah, anyway, this is Marvel's problem. They just don't give enough teeth to their villains. They just don't have any oomph.
Where do we stick him?
11? 11 is fine. 11 is about as Ronan the Accuser as you can get, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next.
Ben Ultron.
Ultron. Oh, big grey.
Big grey man, yeah.
Terrible character arc. Very inconsistent.
Basically non-existent.
Very inconsistent.
Great design, though.
Great design, but very grey.
Yeah.
The reshoots were awful. When they remodeled him to make him more kid-friendly so they'd sell toys, that was annoying.
Well, it's not a reshoot. It's when he had updated his body.
Yeah, I guess. But
The body he has in the middle of the movie is the best body, where it's a real shiny silver and kind of skeleton-y.
Yeah, that was good. That was decent.
Yeah, but probably, for me at least, the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, I think, it was funny to me because he kept going on about how superior he was to humans and he ended up being a human. Do you know what I mean? Like, they gave him way too many human characteristics. I think one of the really disturbing things about Ultron in the comics is that you can't reason with him.
Yeah, because he's a robot.
And you can't distract him, and you can't do any of that. And yet, the one thing that where I really gave up on Ultron in Avengers 2 is where he calls the Hulk an absolute animal. When he's getting his head pounded into the ground. Do you remember that? They're fighting.
No, I don't remember
They're fighting.
that, actually.
I can't remember where they're fighting. And he says, "You uncivilized brute," or something like that. Something along those lines.
Does he?
It was very British. It was very out of character. And I just couldn't understand why he would say that. It made me give up on him. I'll find it.
Because he wasn't really a robot. He was just a big metal dickhead.
Yeah, he's just a big metal dick.
Where do we put him, Ben?
He's in the top 10 probably in terms of significance.
9?
9, yeah, go on.
Okay, you can be 9. Ultron's 9 in our random list. Ben, Yellow Jacket. Just a
No.
bloody hero, but evil.
Crap. Badly acted as well. I didn't like him at all.
He was just Ironmonger again.
Yeah, just Ironmonger again. But weirdly petulant childy. So Ronan the Accuser meets bloody Ironmonger. I thought he was
Let's
really
put him
poor.
pretty low then.
I thought he was really poor.
We give him 13?
Yeah. 13 suits.
Okay, because now we're out of phase 2. We're into phase 3,
Oh,
Ben.
man.
Phase 3
We're
seems
running out of
to be-
time here, Michael.
I know. Look, we're going to do it. Don't worry. Phase 3 seems to be when they start getting their shit together.
Yeah.
Because the first villain of phase 3 was their most different villain they've ever had, basically. It's Zemo.
Zemo was great.
Zemo was good,
Zemo
wasn't he?
was great. You have all your key parts, baby. What are the key parts? We got pathos, we got ethos, and we got logos. Pathos in that he has a bloody tragic story caused directly by superheroes in Avengers 2. Loses the wife, the kid.
The
kid.
superheroes directly deserve everything he did.
Yeah, no, it's justice. It's justice from the past. Bit of a Bucky Barnes situation. He's got ethos, he's got principles, he's got moral characters. He's literally avenging his dead wife and child.
Yeah,
good man.
He's not even a superhero, so he can't just be the superhero but evil.
He's not endangering that many people when he does it.
No, he's a real good egg.
He's a real good egg. He's only fucking with superheroes. I dig that. And he's super persuasive. He's a bloody genius. He sneaks on in there. He does a little interrogation. He finds the files on the Winter Soldier, reprograms him, sends him off. Mission report, baby. So yeah, he's right up there. Top three.
Okay, top 3. Shall we say 3?
Yeah, I hope he comes back, man. I hope he comes back.
He won't. I don't think he will. If he does come back, I hope he has a purple helmet and a sword.
Black Panther. Oh, that'd be deadly.
The next one's going to be the easiest one for us, Ben, because we can just stick him straight in at number 17. Because he's boring.
Who?
It's Caecilius.
From what?
Doctor Strange.
Oh,
exactly.
Exactly.
He was just evil Doctor Strange.
Waste of a good character actor as well. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Go on, straight down.
All right, 17. Straight down to 17. Waste of an actor. Really boring. Just the villain,
You
but evil.
mean
just the hero, but evil.
Caecilia's prequel to Mordo?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just go straight to Mordo.
Just go straight to
messing around.
Mordo. Stop faffing about.
Okay, Ben. The next one is a good one.
Go on.
But I don't think top 3 personally. But I think a good one. It's Ego, the living planet.
Ego falls down in terms of motivation. Purpose in the
Go
universe and taking over the entire universe, I do not buy.
Okay.
I do not buy. So he fell down a bit for me. World domination is a poor plot. We moved past it a long time ago. There's no need for it.
But in terms of relationships with the characters and things like that.
Phenomenally acted by Mr. Kurt Russell. Great job from him.
I think it was mostly his hair that did the heavy lifting.
Oh, the hair was amazing, wasn't it? Can you imagine how good this podcast would be if we could both grow hair like Kurt Russell and just put that in a thumbnail?
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Looks like it there. It's coming in nice.
Screw you.
It's coming in nice. I meant that in genuine.
I'm working on it.
I meant that genuine.
Hair doesn't grow overnight, Ben.
That was genuine.
Unless you're Ego, the living
That
planet.
was genuine. Yeah, well, it grows in about 25 seconds flat, doesn't it?
A little disappointing that he wasn't really a living planet.
Yeah, well, he was an avatar. It was an avatar, but you couldn't have that.
Yeah.
I did like what a dick he was.
Yeah.
I did like, he did have principles technically. He was taking over the universe and would stop at nothing to do that. And very persuasive. Very persuasive character.
And as you know, I love an ancient cosmic evil.
Yeah, I will forever enjoy the conversation between Kurt Russell and Chris Pratt that went, we're the sailor in that song, Peter. And the sailor said, Brandy.
You're a fine girl.
What a good wife.
You
would be. It was amazing.
But my life, my love, my lady.
He's in the top 10.
Is the sea.
He's in the top 10.
Yeah, let's put him at 6.
6. He's
just behind Winter Soldier.
If nothing else, he's got a shitload of charisma, which a lot of them don't have.
I'm pretty happy with that, Ben. 6. He's behind Winter Soldier, but ahead of Trevor Slattery and Red Skull.
Good stuff all around.
That's pretty good, actually. I think we've nailed this, Ben. Next one is possibly my personal favorite, Ben. You might have to argue me on this one. It's Adrian Toomes' The Vulture.
Oh, from Homecoming.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
We've got our classics here, don't we? We've got pathos, ethos, and logos.
Yeah, exactly.
They're a little bit different, but I think this is probably the most relatable character to an American audience in terms of villainy.
Yeah, he's a working class schlub.
Like
you or me or your dad.
Perfectly timed with populism. And you see it at the start. He's just pushed aside for the fact that he's doing a good job. He's pushed aside just because big business goes to other contracts. He has strong moral characters. He's feeding his family. He's getting work for his men. There's going to be no...
He doesn't rat Peter out.
He's got nothing to do with that. He understands that people need to make their way in the world. He's a real Bruce Springsteen with wings.
Bruce Wingstein.
That's the name of the podcast, by the way. Yeah, and he's got logos. He's very persuasive. His argument is very hard to go against. He's just trying to feed his family.
Also, Ben, he has a sweet-assed costume.
Yes, I really like his costume.
It's high-tech, but it's not Iron Man.
It's not Iron Man. It's very much a scavenger's...
visually distinctive.
It's very much like... one of the few times that an animal-themed supervillain has been so well adapted to screen.
Well, I mean, him and Falcon are... both have been adapted to screen by just giving up on the whole idea of a man with wings and making it technology.
Yeah, but I think the other interesting thing there is in terms of the Vulture, even his character traits, his actions, they all match the animal that he's named after. He scavenges technology that people don't want and reincorporates it and uses it again.
And he's got a shiny bald head.
And it's great. Great.
Can we put him at 1, Ben?
Do you want to put him at 1, Michael? Who have we got?
I want to put him at 1.
Hang on. Who have we got left?
No, look, you're breaking the conceit. We're doing this at
random. Right, we'll put him at 1. Go on.
Yay! Vulture's number 1. Next is Hela from the movie Thor Ragnarok.
Great charisma.
Yes.
Decent enough. Not pathos, but logos and ethos. There's no moral character to her. She does stick to her principle.
Her principle is I'm an evil person.
She kills the fuck out of things. She's pretty good at it. No, I mean, there is pathos there, but it's tough pathos to get behind. Oh, boo-hoo, your dad didn't let you kill everyone. Too bad for you.
Oh, your dad used to be a bad egg like you, but now he's a good egg, so now you can't be a bad egg anymore.
See, I think if you had put Hela in any other Thor movie that wasn't Ragnarok, directed by the wonderful Taika Waititi, wouldn't have worked.
Oh, you can say Taika Waititi now.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I've been practicing 6 hours a day in the mirror.
I don't know where we have space for her, though. Oh, no! Ben, it's our first flub.
Where we put her?
We've only got 2 spaces left, and we can only put her 1 or 14.
Oh, shit. 14.
She's gonna have to go 14. Oh, we've made a grave error.
14.
Hoist by our own petard, Ben.
Yeah.
Again, great visuals as well, and very charismatic, but
very well played. Wasn't given a lot to work with. That was a brother reuniting comedy, Succession, family drama.
Exactly.
Hard to fit her on in there.
And Ben, not last but not least, in fact, from the looks of things, 17th least, Eric Killmonger.
Is there only space for 17 for Eric Killmonger?
No, 2 is the only space we have left.
Oh, excellent. Okay, excellent. Wonderful.
Hold on. Let me check. You talk about Killmonger and I'll just do a quick check here.
Yeah, he's got them all. Pathos. Bloody hell, his dad was murdered by his uncle. He's left behind in a poverty-stricken area. He has to grow up with the knowledge that there is a utopia of African civilization that could help black people around the world. In many ways, his ethos outweighs that of any other character in Black Panther because he just wants to help everyone around the world. Now, he wants to help them in a very poor way, but he never errs in that goal. His principle is to liberate and end black oppression across the world by utilizing technology that has always been there. And he never falters in that ethos. And in terms of logos, he's persuasive without meaning to be. And I think where that's most significant is in the audience reaction to him. I know we've talked about it before, but like many black audiences around France and America applauded when he gave his various speeches about how black people are oppressed and things like that. He hit a chord with people. Not necessarily in the film, because obviously you can't agree with a sociopath. But I think in terms of character arc, he just hit a chord with people. Again,
the only problem...
Very well timed.
Sorry, Ben, I'm going to cut you off because we're getting very close to the end there. The only problem with him is he is just the hero but evil. Yeah. The costume design is good, but it is purple Black Panther and yellow Black Panther having a fight at the end.
Yeah.
And... he is the classic kind of heroes past coming back to haunt them.
Reverse Simba.
Yeah, exactly, as we talked about last week. Ben, I have let's put him at 2. I have a proposal.
Go on.
We'll break our rule and we'll move Hela to 10 and put Killian at 14.
Oh, excellent. I love it.
Ben, I think we have fucking nailed it. I think we have made a definitive list of the MCU villains.
So you heard it here. Nice one, Ben. You heard it here
didn't
first,
really hear it here.
folks. We, 2 Irish lads with a humble beginnings podcast, have broken the internet.
We fixed the internet.
All the various keyboard bashing arguments that take place on Reddit or other forums dedicated to such things
they can stop now.
Can stop,
it's
guys.
Solved.
Next week we're going to take a look at the Middle East, and then the week after that we might have a crack at DC versus Marvel.
Such sincere delivery.
So anyway,
Ben, your delivery was so sincere there. I felt an urge to tell you, no, we're not.
Anyway, that was the podcast for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Do you agree with our list? Do you hate our list? If you hate our list, shut up and go away. If you don't hate our list and you agree with us, please fill us with praise down below.
Or look, just stick your own list down below. It'd only take you 10 minutes. It only took us an hour.
Yep. Do you think we missed anybody? Are there any secondary villains that you think deserve a spot on the list?
Well, Curse, maybe. Oh, you're not talking to me. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, but that was for
Curse.
Curse is a good one.
Curse, Alexander Pierce.
And do give us a shout if you think
Armin
anyone
Zola.
should make an appearance in the future. What kind of characters would you like to see brought to screen in the future? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the podcast. Give us now a like, subscribe, and share us all over the place. Go on, give it a go.
Go on, real sound. All right, bye.
Later.